Hello, my name is Light Wizzard, and I will be your host for this series of videos about the practical aspects and surrounding implications of Trinary Engine technology. What is the Trinary Engine, and why does the Light Wizzard find it important for you to understand? This video assumes you have already watched the Trinary Engine Lessons and Light Wizzard Lessons 1 and 2. Once you understand the Trinary Engine, it will have a profound impact on your life. In 2012, a new infusion of trinary molecules will take place, which will affect our solar system in a very dramatic way. The Trinary Engine is a living entity, although its classification as a life form as we know it is somewhat clouded by our limited understanding of what life is. This engine can communicate intelligently on a universal level, in a way that all life forms can understand. It was born, it can grow, and it can die. I told you we would talk about how to collect the trinary molecules in another video. Well, this is it, and the time to collect them will start in 2012. Every 26,000 years, a window opens up, allowing a new infusion of trinary molecules into our system. This event is going to be very profound, and you should be excited about it. In Earth's past, other civilizations on this planet knew that this would be the case, so in preparation, they erected devices to collect these molecules with. The pyramids in Egypt are an example of just such a device, the biggest and most effective of them all. Unfortunately, they will all have to be repaired before they can work properly again. Thieves have stolen the stones that encased the outside of the pyramids, all of which were necessary for proper collector function and design purpose. Some of the other types of trinary molecule collectors have been damaged by thieves called archaeologists, who have managed over the years to successfully decommission these collectors by acts of ignorant plunder. At this point in time, it would be easier to build new devices than to repair the older ones. Why bother, you may ask? If we do not try to collect these molecules before our trinary engine can, life as we know it on this planet will come to an end, causing the planet to grow and expand at a rate that will devastate its surface, hence all life on it. Mankind, by plundering these priceless treasures, have also sealed their fate. Will December 21, 2012 be the end of the world as we know it? No, but it will be the beginning of the end. Only how long from that date for completion, I cannot say, nor do I care to venture a guess about. However, what I suspect is that once the process begins, it is only a matter of time before there is nothing left anyone can do about it. 2012 marks the beginning of a new cycle of time, or zodiac age, called the Age of Aquarius, the one we are still in, the Age of Pisces, which started in 26 AD, is quickly coming to an end, and with it, any further need to worship the gods of that era, Jesus the man being one of them, the purported living Son of God Almighty. Jesus the man became enlightened. This fact could no longer be denied nor altered. There needed to be a way to counter this great achievement, by introducing a parallel story about a man who will return someday to save the people from themselves. In the dubious case of the human race, this fairy tale story has been the cause of more bloodshed and killing than any other in mankind's dark and sordid past. The beginning of this coming era will give rise to a much different type of energy, lending a sorely needed reprieve from the long since stale and stagnant Pisces qualified variety. This particular energy type will be more conducive to freeing mankind, if more choose to consciously integrate it into their core personality subroutines. However beneficent the universe might seem, there is always the variable of free will, and with it the ongoing and still ever constant tampering of the current Earth human genome, as the slave masters turn up their controls to stop the light filaments from connecting the helixes back together again. To assist in this effort, the World Management Team have put together quite an impressive ensemble of DNA and chromosome-destroying agents, such as biological chemical warfare weapons, vaccine inoculations, chemtrail agents, depleted uranium, food and water poisons in a variety of different flavors and types, all with the intent of killing us softly, with their song. The Lords knew that to prevent the people's DNA from further developing, that the deception would have to be flawless. But this time they did not take into account the people's ability to communicate with beings of light, who live in the force fields of the Trinary Engine, as if only the lords had this ability, and that the masses were incapable of such greatness. What is God, and how does God communicate with us? This subject, perhaps the most misunderstood and distressing of all life's mysteries, no longer needs to be, if you are only willing to face the fact that most, if not all of your knowledge about it, is based on lies that we now need to get past, so that more understanding about this important aspect of human spiritual evolution can take place. God is a spirit of light, a light being, that lives in the force fields of the Trinary Engine, who is constantly sending us communications every second of the day. Some of this information can be partially understood at the lowest levels of consciousness, but most of it you usually dismiss as random ideas, or daydreams. There are those, however rare, that have the ability to tune into these communications, and have learned how to communicate with others through this same medium, which is how I am able to communicate with you now, through someone else. In many ways, our brains are similar to a TV, or radio, that is tuned to this frequency which is still able to detect, and somewhat interpret signals from. These data stream packets originally start out as unencoded information, but by the time we get done putting it through our personal filter banks, oftentimes, it is no longer like the original message packet. Even though we do not fully understand them, we still try to interpret them the best we can, which is why we all see events differently, and have differing views about things in general. Our brain is nothing more than a transceiver, or lens, if you will, one aspect of which having to do with the stepping down of these communications, so that the cognitive areas of the brain can understand them. It is worth mentioning that some animals are more evolved at communicating than we are, like the dolphins and whales, because their brains have evolved over a longer period of time, thus they are far more intelligent than humans will probably ever be, as a rule. Another often told fairy tale is the notion that you cannot hear God, and that when you die, your soul will not go to heaven unless you believe in Him. With time and training, everyone can learn to listen and talk to God. The God of light is not a jealous God, and does not care if you believe in Him, or that you worship Him, nor does He command you to. In fact, this God does not require you to go to church, or pay taxes. That is why you are lied to. Once you understand this, the game is over. I told you that the Bible has made you a slave. It did not set you free. You have to make a choice. Personally, I do not care what you believe, nor does the universe. But if you want to know the truth, you first have to let go of all the fear you have about death, because until you can do that for certain, you will always be afraid of what you perceive to be as God. Deep down, you know this is true. You feel that it's true, yet you were trained like a monkey, since the day you were born, to believe in this fairy tale. Now you have to wake up, and you might be afraid too. Your security blanket has been taken from you, all your belief systems, or BS, has been called a lie. Get over it, move on, take charge, or go back to sheep. Your call. Without the Trinary Engine, we would have no knowledge of the universe, nor be able to sense that anything is wrong, and would most likely continue on with our lives as if the way things are, and have always been. War, death, and taxes are just part of living. Our eternal soul is part of this galactic network, or lattice, which I call the Gladys, that has always been located there. It can take a lifetime to understand how to access the Gladys, but some of us never do. What a waste. In coming lessons of the Light Wizard, we will discuss how to communicate with the Gladys. We will learn to tune our brains to better receive and transmit these signals. In short, we will try to teach you what the enlightened ones already know, how to be enlightened. Stay tuned for the next Light Wizard lesson. The Light Wizard was written by Jeffrey Scott and Rob Rimlin. A binary bit production for thelightwizard.com. Email us at admin@lightwizard.com. Thank you.